All right. Welcome back, everybody. Glad we could finally get you guys some food and start feeding everyone. Definitely helps when you actually have food going, right? For sure, for sure. Well, hey, everybody. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Cam. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit more. But catch me up to speed, guys. Like, what have you guys been talking about the whole time that you've been here? Yeah, through the days. Catch me up. What have I missed?
What have I missed? Marketing.
Marketing? Okay. Talking about marketing.
Brand names, contracts.
Okay.
You were learning different types of cameras and stuff.
Different cameras. Okay. Looking at equipment and things. Nice. Okay. Okay. Nice. So all geared towards like eventually starting your guys' own business kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit. Love it. I love it. Yeah. That entrepreneurial spirit is strong, especially with young people like you. And so that's why I'm super excited to be here and talking with you guys today. So, like I said, my name is Cam. Who is this guy? All right. So, Cam Miller. I am a retired Air Force Master Sergeant. I was active duty as a crew chief and aircraft mechanic.
I did UTC for airport.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so I was an aircraft mechanic. I worked on C-130s, the cargo planes, and then got picked up to work on Air Force One, and that's what brought me here. So I was working on Air Force One from 2018 to pretty recently. But yeah, retiring this year, so pretty excited. New transition, next chapter of life. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, retired Air Force Master Sergeant, founder of Arrow Wealth. I started my own financial services business. So like you, I have that entrepreneurial drive. I just saw a need for, helping people with their finances and bringing financial literacy to young people, and also helping families who are trying to create generational wealth. I know we hear that term a lot on social media, and so I try to actually what does that look like? What is generational wealth? And so that's what I try to explain and help people set up for their families. I'm a father. I have lots of kids. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, my mission is to help people become the financial leaders of their families by building systems that create generational wealth and legacy. Okay, so not just how can I help you make a bunch of money, like that's part of it, but how can I help you set up the next generation for success? Not just like yourself, but how can we seriously change your guys' family tree? Because all it takes is just one person to say, I'm going to be the one that changes things in my family. And that can be you guys. So that's why I'm excited to be here. So I'm not here to lecture you guys. I'm sure you guys get enough of that, enough people telling you what to do and everything. I'm just more of the guide, okay? I'm a huge movie buff. I love movies. But in all of the different hero stories, there's always the hero who's trying to fight the monster, save the village, rescue the princess, whatever. And then there's the guide who kind of helps them along the way, right? So think of me as more of the guide. You are all the Luke Skywalkers. I'm like the Yoda. Okay, you're all like the Harry Potters. I'm the Dumbledore. I'm like the guy that's helping you along the way. Okay, so that's who I am. And again, super excited to be here with you guys. So like I said, I have a whole bunch of kids. Anybody want to guess how many kids I have? 3? A little higher.
Yeah,
6, a little higher. 7, higher. Higher. Yep. 9, higher. Okay. This is my family, my wife and I. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see with this, but anyways, my wife and I, we have 10 kids, and number 11 is on the way, probably.
This is Nick Cannon in the flesh.
Yeah. We got even teams, 5 boys, 5 girls. My oldest is 14, baby is about 18 months, and then we're expecting number 11 probably. We're in July now, so yeah, probably end of this month coming up here. So yes, lots of kids. So when I talk about creating generational impact, generational wealth, that's what I'm all about. So when we're talking about your finances, I have a lot of experience. Okay, so my wife and I, when we had kids, we made the decision that I was going to be the sole provider. My wife was going to stay home with the kids and help take care of everybody. So I've been the sole source of income for my home ever since we started having kids. So being disciplined with your finances is one of those things that's necessary to make that happen. Okay. All right. And we're going to do a full Q&A at the end. All right. So I know you guys are usually going to ask, like, what do you drive? What does your grocery bill look like? What is, you know? So we'll do a full Q&A at the end. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. What was that? All right. So before we go any further, let's just talk about like where we're at. Okay. So this area here that we're at, Temple Hills, Clinton, DMV kind of area, I just want to examine what is going on here because I've lived here since 2018. I'm originally from Southern California. I got stationed here 2018 when I got picked up for Air Force One. So I've been here for a while now and definitely observed a lot of different things. And the median annual income around here is about $66,000. And average home ownership, there's 35% of people actually own their home. So not renting, but have actually like bought their home. All right. So the community that we're a part of, it works really hard. Like I'm sure we can all think of people who work hard, who, you know, put a lot of time and effort into their jobs. But I want to ask you guys and point out that income is not the same thing as wealth. So let me just ask you guys, what's the difference between income and wealth? What do you guys think? Yeah.
Like income is just like, that's like what you get like after, you know, the government takes all the money. But I think wealth is like, how do I explain it? I think wealth is like being like, it's not just your income. It's like what your assets, all your assets together.
Okay. So you're saying income is what's coming in, but wealth is like all of your assets and everything? Okay. Okay, anybody else? What do you guys think? What's the difference between income and wealth? Yeah.
Basically, what you feel like income is like new money and wealth is like old money. Basically.
New money and old money?
Yeah.
What do you mean by old money?
Like money that like you already had, if that makes sense. That
Money you already had?
yeah, that's already.
Okay. Okay. So like, I think I kind of get what you're saying. So money that's coming in is income. Wealth is more of like what you've already been building kind of thing. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? What do you guys think? What's the difference? Income, wealth. I see you trying. What's up?
I kind of like thought
You're good.
income is like the money you make, and wealth is the money that you hold on to. Basically.
Oh, okay. I like that. So income is what's coming in. Wealth is what you hold on to. Okay. What do you mean hold on to? What, like, how would your money get away from you?
Spending it in other places, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, right. If you're in business, you even spend your personal money on that.
Yeah. Yeah, this applies to individual and business, right? Like income versus wealth. Yeah, really good. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Give me one more and then I'll move on. Income versus wealth. What do you guys think?
Income is money that comes in, and wealth. Money that was already there, basically, like.
Money that was already there? What do you mean?
Like when, like my dad has, I don't know what it's called, but like an insurance, just like when he passes away, like it's gonna stay within our family.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly what's the actual term.
Wealth
Or they,
is
yeah, kind of like a will.
Yep. So, yeah.
No,
So,
life insurance.
yeah.
Life insurance.
yeah. So life insurance is one of those ways to make sure you have wealth set up. So that way when you're not here, you know, that money continues to grow. So that's actually what I specialize in. I'm licensed in life insurance, and so I specialize in leveraging life insurance towards wealth building strategies. Is this thing following me? Hey, there we go. All right. Just got to give it the A-OK sign. Okay. Really good answers, you guys. Really good answers. Okay. So kind of what we were saying, income versus wealth, right? This is the gap that you don't really hear a lot of people talking about. Lots of people are only focused on income, how to make a bunch of money. How can I make more money? What I need a job that pays me more. I need to, do things that make you lots of money. But that's not all of it. Wealth is what you keep and what you grow and what you pass on. Okay? So kind of like what you were saying, not just what you're making, but what is passing on to the next generation. So really, really good answers, you guys. Okay. So thanks. Kind of hard to see down at the bottom there. But okay. So like I was saying, we all focus on just making a bunch of money. But in the bottom down here, 78% of NFL players are broke or under financial stress within 2 years of retirement. NFL players making tons of money, right? 2 years after they retire, they're broke. It's all gone. Yeah. So it's not just about what do you have coming in, but what are you building that's actually growing that money and keeping it as well, okay? 60% of former NBA players are broke within 5 years. So within 5 years, after making all this money, it's all gone.
That'd be really sad.
Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm going to share one tragic story with you guys later. But so these are people who made millions. The problem was never the income. The problem was the system that they had set up. Okay, so it's not just about how can we make a lot, but what are we doing with it? How are we actually building wealth? Okay. All right, let me ask you all a question. Who's someone famous that you guys know of who has a bunch of money?
Cardi B.
Beyonce, Cardi B, that Elon guy. Yep. Anybody else?
Drake,
Mr. Beast,
Kendrick Lamar,
Kendrick Lamar, so many, right? Okay. Would you believe me if I said that you all have an unfair advantage over all of them? What do you guys think that advantage is?
You're not.
No. You guys have an advantage. Like you have something over them that they don't. What'd you say? Youth? Exactly. You guys have time. You have one thing that money can't buy, and that's time. The fact that you guys are so young, and the fact that you're already in a program like this that gets you thinking long-term, that gets you thinking entrepreneurially, gets you thinking, not just how do I make money, but how do I build wealth and grow it so it can pass on to generations. Guys, that's huge. And that's something that all of those people that you named wish they had more of, was time. Okay? So time. You have the one thing money can't buy, which is time. Let me see. Okay. Rough ages, I'm guessing 15, 16, 17, roughly? Okay, all right, good. So yeah, you guys are 15, 16, 17. So you have decades. Seriously, like you have decades ahead of people who are trying to build wealth. I mean, all of my old folks in the back, like, don't you wish like you... Seasoned. Okay, all right. I'm 37. Just throw it out there, experienced, okay? But I'm just saying, don't all of you wish you would have known what you know now when you were younger? All right? Absolutely. See? Anybody you ask will tell you this. My kids just asked me this. They were like, Dad, would you go back in time? And I was like, if I knew what I know now, went back in time? Yeah, absolutely I would. Yeah. So you have decades ahead of people. The decisions that you're going to make right now, they're going to compound and they're going to grow. And I'll talk about compounding later, but the decisions you make are going to grow. You got a question? I see you thinking over here.
No, it's mostly about weight. You're 37 and your oldest is 40.
Okay, so I had my first kid when I was 22.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then we just kind of haven't stopped since then. I see you crunching the numbers, doing some math over there. Very good, very good. All right. So one of my favorite sayings is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So you guys, you're all in that first part where you can plant a seed, where you can start building things now. And then in 20 years, you're going to look back and say, man, I'm so glad I started thinking like that. I'm so glad I started building that when I was 15 or 16. I mean, I know it's hard to think about, like in the future, but I guarantee you it's coming, okay? You're gonna blink and you're gonna be in your 20s, you're gonna be older, and in the future, you just need to think, in the future, do I wanna say, I'm glad I did, or are you gonna say, I wish I would have? Those are the options that you need to consider, okay? All right. So the decision that you make right now, they're going to compound, like I was saying. The question isn't whether you have time. The question is, who here wants to be the one that changes their family tree? Okay. Who said that? You. Yeah. I said, who here wants to be the one that changes their family tree? That's right. That's right. And all of you have that power. You all have that ability to be the one who changes your family tree. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do with Arrow Wealth, because I see so many people who recognize the pattern, who see like their parents struggle, their grandparents struggle, who are thinking, I don't want that to be me. I don't want to continue that pattern and continue that cycle. Well, the thing with a cycle that keeps repeating itself is it just takes one person to stop it and then create something different and start something new. And it all starts with one person. So that's what I'm doing. I'm being the change in my family tree, and you all can be that as well. All right, so we're going to be getting into talking about money. The main things we're going to be talking about today, first we're going to talk about how to make money, and we're going to talk about what to do with money, and then we're going to talk about what not to do with money. Okay? So that's kind of the roadmap for what we're talking about. Okay, cool. And I don't have as much time, thanks Chick-fil-A, but we'll make it work, okay? All right, so let me just ask, how do you make money? Okay, what are some ways you can make money?
Investing, stocks, jobs,
Sales, profits.
Jobs, sales, profits. Okay.
betting,
Betting.
Good way to lose it all.
Crime, stealing. Yeah. Okay. So most of the time people think of, I need to make money, so they think of a job. They think of, I just need to find a job, I need to go to school, I need to, get my education and everything. Yeah. Let me ask you guys, honestly, okay? Honestly. You've all lived long enough to see people who have done all that. Gone to school, got the jobs. Do you think that they are financially free?
no, student loan debt.
Lots of times, people have done everything that they're supposed to do, right? They went to school, they got the job, but they're still struggling with their finances.
But I want to say when you default, it's how our government works. Like other countries don't have to pay back schools or hospital bills. How would we say default because we're still struggling?
Yep. Yeah, it's just kind of part of the system that we're in, and they're not taught another way. They're not being taught what you guys are being taught now, how to think differently, all right? So when it comes to making money, starting businesses, things like that, I want you guys to think differently. The whole point of starting a business is to solve problems. And if you can get really good at solving problems, then money is a byproduct of that. Money is a byproduct of solving problems. And the bigger problems that you solve, the more money that you're going to make. So the cool thing is, like, with this program, you're learning tech and media skills right here with Functional Training Zone. So now, after you go through this, use those skills. Use that to start finding problems to solve. And if you can figure out problems to solve for people, that's how money starts to come in. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Start solving problems, right? And I know that lots of times when young people, they kind of feel like they have to be told which problems to solve. They have to be told, like, go do this, go do that. But I encourage you, don't wait for permission. Okay? If you start to see problems, you see something wrong that you want to fix, start getting after it and figuring out how you can attack this problem. I was just listening to this podcast with this gentleman here. His name's John Ema. He was a Nigerian American student. He was in Texas, and his parents got a computer when he was 7, and he was just so fascinated with it. He got some screwdrivers and started taking it apart. And then he put it back together, and he was just learning how the computer works and what makes it function and everything. And so through that, he started identifying things about computers, started coming up with ideas for how to make computers better, different ways of offering computer services, and started his own business when he was your guys' age. And by the time he was 16, he sold 2 of those businesses and became a millionaire. At 16. Do you think anybody was like, oh, you're not old enough to solve problems. You're not old enough to fix things. Yeah. I'm sure he got a lot of it. I really encourage you guys to listen to that interview. It's on the School of Hard Knocks. I don't know if you guys followed them at all, but super good channel to be inspired by. So now he is the CEO of Spree AI, and their company is worth 1.5 billion with a B. Okay. Pretty crazy, right? Okay. So want you guys, I was talking with a couple of you earlier, but let's just start brainstorming. What are some problems you think that are out there that need to be solved?
Corporate greed.
Okay. Corporate greed, government, things like that. I love it. And like I was saying, the bigger the problem, like the bigger the impact. So that's awesome. What problems do you think are out there that you can identify that like you could start to solve with your business? Okay. Like think about it. Mr. Quincy back there, he identified the problem that there needed to be more programs for youth to help them learn new things. So he created Functional Training Zone. I saw that not enough people are being taught financial literacy, that generational wealth isn't taught how to build, so I created Arrow Wealth. Okay. So start thinking about it. Start thinking about the problems. As you guys were going through the workshops and everything you've been learning this week, have you guys identified any problems or seen anything that could be better?
You guys knew some companies companies that people you know own, and you saw problems that they have?
Like financial, finance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that might be one. Companies that need help with their finances. What else? Could be anything. Filming, marketing.
That have problems finding the target audience.
Yeah.
But Tiago, they are the target audience.
Yeah, that's huge, right? That's a big thing for businesses, is trying to identify their target audience and reaching out to them. Okay. So I want you guys to start thinking in terms of how can you solve these problems for people. And I'm telling you, right now is the best time throughout history for you guys to start thinking this way because of the technological advancements that are happening right now through AI. Okay, so let me ask you, who here is using AI? Better see every single hand up here. All right, good. Okay, AI is one of those like technology advancements that comes like once in a lifetime. I'm using it in my business daily, and lots of businesses want to know how to use it, but maybe they don't know how to get started or things like that. So one of the ways that you guys can solve problems is by leveraging AI to help businesses. And I'm giving you this roadmap here for how exactly to do it. All right. So I want you to think of AI as a tool. Think of it as a hammer. Okay. I was going to bring in a hammer, but I didn't want to scare people. But imagine, oh wait.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. We got a hammer. All right. Okay. Okay. So we got a hammer. Is that hammer alone going to make money sitting there? No. So what do we got to do with it? We got to use it. Right? We got to use it. We got to use it. We got to start swinging on things, and then that's how we can start making money with this tool. All right. So one of the frameworks that I want to give you guys when you're thinking of how to use AI to solve problems is MAPS. Okay. So AI itself, like Claude is awesome, but it's not going to make you rich just sitting there. You have to actually use it. Okay. And not just Claude. I'm just using that as an example. So use the MAPS framework to prompt AI like a pro. All right. AI is super cool, but if you don't know how to give it good prompts, make it work for you, then it's just a fancy Google, right? Okay. So MAPS, this is our framework. So first is the mission. You want to tell it the exact outcome that you want. Then you're going to ask a specific task that you need it to do. And then you're going to give it the parameters. So what are the rules and the context? So like what are the boundaries that it can go in? Okay. And then S is the shape. How do you want the final output to look? Do you want this to be like a visual diagram? Do you want like a Word doc? Do you want a, I don't know, a PDF, a PowerPoint, like whatever it is, okay? So any questions on AI, MAPS, using the tool? No? Okay, hopefully you guys have been like learning a lot of this. But, good. All right, so let me give you a like real world example using MAPS. Okay, so using MAPS for social media. Let's say you go to, I don't know, a local business around here, and you're like, hey, how are you using AI in your marketing? Most of the time, lots of business owners are like, I don't know. Like, I know I should be using AI, but I don't know how to. Boom, there's a problem that you can solve. So here's the framework that you can use. Sorry, I know it's kind of hard to see. But, okay, so M, so the mission, you tell it, act as an expert social media manager for a local burger restaurant in Temple Hills.
Sponsored by Arrow Wealth Financial. The cycle ends with you.
3 engaging Instagram posts to promote our new spicy chicken sandwich. Parameters. Target audience is high school students. Tone should be energetic and use emojis. Keep it under 50 words per post. See how specific we're getting with it? And then the shape. Output as numbered list with the post text followed by 5 suggested hashtags. So see, when you can create a super specific structured prompt like that, then it's going to give you a very good specific product. And then now imagine going to the business owner being like, hey, here's my strategy for how we can increase your business, attract more of your target audience, and help promote this new product that you're doing. Do you guys think a business owner would take you more seriously then? Probably, right? Okay, I'll give you one more, since we're talking about video editing and things like that. All right, so here's the MAPS framework for that. You tell it, Act as a viral content strategist and YouTube Shorts producer. I want you to review this podcast transcript and identify the 3 most engaging hooks for short-form clips. The parameters. The hooks must be under 5 seconds to read, focus on financial advice for teenagers, and do not use complex jargon. Shape. Output as a markdown table with columns for hook, text, transcript, timestamp, and suggested B-roll visuals. Okay, so now that I've given you kind of like the framework for this, tell me, how do you think you can use AI to solve some of these problems that you've witnessed and seen?
You can help me give you like an example of what it should look like.
What specifically?
Like, or they can give you like, you can ask you for advice, like for you like major things. They can give you like a small study guide about it.
Okay, so if you're wanting to learn more about something, you can have it train you and teach you. Absolutely.
Kind of manage or organize what you're trying to do for, I guess, what your business or brand is.
Mm-hmm. So help you get more organized and kind of like structure everything?
Yeah, some type of foundation for it.
Okay. And do you think you could like pitch that to a business owner?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. If you could tell them like, hey, do you need help organizing your business, like your day-to-day, your data entry, like everything?
Scheduling.
Yeah. Scheduling, personnel, payroll, like everything like that. And then here's the cool thing. If you're like, well, yeah, that'd be cool, but I don't know how to do that, then you ask the AI. That's it. Like, hey, Claude, I'm thinking of like offering the service to a business. Is this something that could even work? And then it'll tell you all of it, okay? So that's why I'm saying you guys are in such an amazing technologically advanced time. And I hope you guys are starting to leverage that and thinking of how you can use it to solve bigger problems like we were talking about. Heck yeah. Okay, so you're starting to solve problems. You got your own business going. You're solving problems for other businesses. You got money that's starting to come in. Now what? Okay. So like I was saying, put those skills to work. Social media, automation, video editing. Now you got money coming in. Now what? Okay. So this is a strategy that that I implement, that I help people set up. I'm not saying this is the way. This is just how Cam Miller and Arrow Wealth sets it up for people. But we do what's called a warehouse for your capital. So when you think of somewhere where you're putting your money, you want to think of, can I still access it? How is it growing? Is it going to lose anything? What are the taxes like on it? Everyone's favorite T word. But it is something that we have to think about, especially in business. Like, how is my money being taxed? Okay. Who said that?
Huh?
Taxes over this guy. I know, man. Yep. Okay. So we got to think of how we can not just save money. Okay. There's one of my favorite stories in the Bible. It's called the parable of the talents. It's about this guy who leaves money to his servants while he's gone. 3 different servants. One of them just buries the money and just like covers it up. Okay. The other 2 take it and they invest it. They put it to work. It grows. And so then when the master returns, he's like, hey, what'd you guys do with my money? And the one's like, oh, I buried it. Here you go. Like all the same money. And the master's like, what the heck? And gets really mad at the guy who just buried it, but then praises the other 2 who grew their money. And he takes the servant that didn't grow the money, that just buried it, and he actually takes him and he chucks him out. And he says, you wicked, lazy servant. Pretty crazy way to describe it. And he takes that money and gives it to the other servant who grew it by 10 times. And then he tells him, well done, good and faithful servant. So pretty crazy. We need to think in terms of not just how do I have money coming in and how do I just save it and keep it, but how do I actually put it to work and grow it, make it even more what it can be, right? So for me, I use something called an Index Universal Life Policy, or an IUL. You can look into this. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying this is like the way, but you need to think in terms of how can you grow your money. And it is based around life insurance, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. But I look at it as more of a capital warehouse. And when you think of a warehouse, think of like a storage facility. Anybody like how many storage facilities that you guys keep things in or whatever? Okay, so you guys get the idea, right? You put your things in there and it's protected from the elements and everything. And then when you need it, you can just go back to it and get your things out, right? So same kind of concept when it comes to your finances, setting up a capital warehouse. That's what we call it. Somewhere that you can store your money, it can grow safely, and essentially you become your own bank. Because currently right now, whenever you make money, where do people tell you to put your money? A high yield savings account. Perfect. Or where else do they tell you to put it? Stocks. Yeah. Yep. But if you want to keep it accessible, where do they tell you to put it? In the bank. Yep. They just tell you put it in the bank. Put it in a savings account or something like that. But let me ask you this. What is the bank doing with that money that's inside of it? So you guys can look into this a little more later, but it's called fractional reserve lending. What that means is for all the money that they're giving out loans and then charging people interest, and they're making a bunch of money off of your money. Off of your money. Okay? So instead of the bank making money off of your money, we need to start thinking in terms of how can I keep my money, have it grow for myself and my own interests, what I'm trying to accomplish. Okay? So again, we just got to think differently about money. Like I was saying, the cool thing about your guys' spot is you have, what's that unfair advantage that you guys have? Youth, time, right? Okay, so let me show you. If you just put $100 a month aside, starting at age 16, versus if you started this at age 30, when most people do after they've, worked a little bit and now they're 30 and they're like, oh shoot, I should probably start taking life seriously and actually like start putting money aside and things, right? So if you started when you were 16, $100 a month at 16 versus 30, by the time you're 65, okay, so that gives it 49 years to grow. And let's say you put it in stocks, high yield. You're not going to find a high yield at 7%, but something estimated at 7% growth, okay? Over 49 years, you would have over $450,000. $100 a month starting at 16. If you started this at 30, $100 a month, that only gives you 35 years of it growing and compounding. Well, now you have a little over 170,000. So because of that time, that unfair advantage that you guys have, it makes a difference of over $280,000 because they started earlier versus when they were 30. Guys tracking this? Okay. So this is why this is so good for young people like you guys to start thinking about long term, how can you start setting yourself up for success in the future? Okay. Any questions about this? Anything? Yeah. Yes, this is estimated value at 7%. So if you have something growing at 7%. Just, yeah.
That wouldn't be the amount if I was to put my savings.
Correct. It's not growing, just sitting in your savings. It might grow like 0.01% or something, something like that. But if you can put it into something that's growing, so this is why they tell you put your money in stocks, put your money in different things that can grow at around 7%. Okay. Okay, any other questions? Really good point, bringing that up. Thank you. All right. Okay. So like I was saying, people focus a lot on making a bunch of money. Everyone focuses on making money, but that's not just what all of it's about. All right. So like I was saying, lots of times we focus so much on just making money. Like, how can I just make more money, make more money? But without a system in place, that money is not going to last very long. All right. This is Antoine Walker. He was a 3-time NBA All-Star, NBA champion. Throughout his NBA career, he made $108 million. $108 million. What would you do if you had $108 million? I want you to stop. Invest it? Okay, nice. What was it? Yep. Okay, yeah. Put some in retirement? Yep, just like leave it alone and like retirement. Yep. Okay. So, guy had $108 million. 2 years after he got out of the NBA, he was broke. Had to file for bankruptcy. Most of the time, people would think, dude, $108 million? That could change my life. I'd be set. I'd be set for life. I'd be good. But nope. 2 years. 2 years after, he was broke. So, let me ask you guys, what could drain $108 million from your life?
Bills.
Bills? Like what specifically?
Like this bad, like bad, buy like cars and all the houses,
But that all
houses they was buying and all that.
It all depends on how much, like what structure and the foundation of the house. Say, for example, you're buying like a mansion or something like that, that the mortgage can be higher than what a normal personal house is.
Yeah.
And then if you're living in an apartment, the mortgage, a little bit of rent is going to go high regardless, because you have to pay the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to bills, that's different too. So it's really all about the structure and foundation of the house that you're going to talk about bills like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, different as well. That depends on which model, how much the material is used, the mechanic and engineering behind that vehicle.
How valuable it is, what kind of brand. Yep.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Anybody else? What could take away $108 million from your life?
Can't
Yeah.
buy unnecessary things.
Buying unnecessary things.
Not budgeting your money correctly.
Yep.
Really not separate your needs and wants, and not keeping track of what you're spending and how much damage is going.
Yeah, but
Gambling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yep.
So what they do in the NBA?
Yeah. All right. So you guys all brought up really good things that draw your money away from you. So in this case of Antoine Walker, it was 4 main things. Okay. 4 main things, and this is the trap that we don't want you guys to fall into. We're trying to avoid, so that's why we're giving you education like this. Okay. So when they asked Antoine Walker what happened, he said that money just all came so fast, but I didn't have any education. I didn't have any understanding of like what to do with it. So he just spent it all. All right. So number 1, he didn't have any financial education. The money came too quickly and he didn't know what to do with it. Okay. Number 2, the word no. It's 2 letters. Okay? Okay. I want everyone to practice saying it. The word no. No. You have to say it. No. No. I didn't hear some people say it. You all got to say it. No. Like you have to say it. No, I don't want to. Good. Okay. All right. Okay. The word no needs to be strong in your vocabulary because this is going to keep you out of lots of trouble. Okay. For me personally, my own filter is if I'm trying to decide something, I say, if it's not a heck yeah, it's a no. Okay. Yep. So No. You need to have the word no in your vocabulary. The problem with Antoine Walker is that everybody came up to him once they found out he had money. And they're like, oh, hey, you have money. I could actually use some help. Whatnot. Oh, yeah, I got you. Like, I got plenty of money now, you know, like, sure. Yeah, there you go. Like, hey, I'm thinking of starting this business. Would you be interested in investing in this? Oh, yeah, I got plenty of money. Why not? Yeah, go for it, you know. So he didn't say no to enough things. Say and practice the word no. If it's not a heck yeah, it's a no. Okay. All right, number 3 was keeping up with the Joneses. And I know this is like kind of an older term, but it just means you're trying to, you know, get the clothes, the cars, the lifestyle. You're trying to, you know, look amazing on Instagram and everything, but secretly you got like all this financial trouble and everything going on. All right. So we want to avoid keeping up with the Joneses. And then number 4 was just bad investments. Everybody came to him with different ideas for, oh, you should invest in this, and oh, you should invest in that. And he was investing a lot in real estate. But then in 2008 was when the big recession happened. Property values decreased. People were like, were losing their homes. And so all of his investments in real estate, they all tanked. And so he ended up losing that. So a combination of all 4 of these things going on in Antoine Walker's life is what caused him to be bankrupt 2 years after leaving the NBA. Pretty crazy. So when it comes to investments, the rule that I go by, and this is something that Dave Ramsey talks about, but he says, if you don't understand the investment, then don't do it. Like, if you can't explain what it is, how it works, like what's the intricacies of it, how am I making money, what are the risks, like everything like that, then don't put your money in it, okay? Like me personally, that's why I've never gotten into like crypto or Bitcoin or anything like that, because I just don't fully understand it, okay? And then some of my buddies who invested prematurely before they had a full understanding ended up losing a lot of money because they didn't understand. So before you decide to put money in any sort of investment, real estate, tax liens, I don't know, what, Bitcoin, crypto, ETF, like all the things. There's so many things out there. If you don't understand it, don't put your money in it, okay? So that's kind of the filter to go by. All right. So these are just some other resources that I want to give you guys to kind of help you with your understanding of money, thinking about business and how to solve problems. The first one is that episode of the School of Hard Knocks podcast with John Ema. Highly recommend it. It's so fascinating hearing how somebody who was so young thinking about problem solving and coming up with ways to make money in their business. Next one is the book $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, or any of his podcasts or YouTube. Like he's an incredible business mind. I love learning from him. And then also the book Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. One of another good resource. It talks about putting money towards things that give you back your time, because your time, like we've talked about before, is the most valuable asset that you have. Okay. And then for my own resource, like I was saying, if you guys find me on Instagram, I'll put my handle up here and everything, and you guys just find me and then message me the word legacy, I'm going to send you my generational wealth checklist that I send to all my clients. This kind of gives them like a starting point, shows them like where to start thinking, how to start tracking, how to build their generational wealth. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Final notes, don't buy the hype. Social media is going to sell you like a lifestyle. It's going to push you on doom spending and buy things that you can't afford just to make it look like you have your life together. But secretly behind the scenes, you're struggling really bad. So we're focused on being wealthy, not looking wealthy. All right. And like we said before, complexity kills, simplicity scales. Meaning if you don't understand what it is, don't put your money into it. All right. Only put money in things you understand and how they work, so that way it can grow. And again, like I said, it's a cycle. We all see it. It's all happening, but it just takes one. It just takes one person. So you are that one to change the pattern and to break the cycle. So if you've seen that your father struggles, if you see that your grandfather struggled, and that's just a cycle that keeps repeating and repeating and repeating, you can be the one to break that cycle. And you can change it. You're not just building for yourself, you're building for your children and their children, and this is what generational wealth actually means. Okay? So like I said, cycle ends with you. That's my business, Arrow Wealth. My handle on everything is Cam Miller FW. That's my link there for my calendar. So if you go talk with your family about like, man, this guy was like talking about generational wealth, like, and you guys want to book a call with me, you can do that there. You can also shoot me an email, cam@arrowwealth.online. But that's everything there. And okay, big things I just want you to take away. Number one, you make money by solving problems. The bigger the problem, the more money you make. Number two, a warehouse capital. Where can you store your money to where it's growing, but you can still access it and it's protected? And then number three, like we've talked about, change the pattern, break the cycle. You guys can be the one to do that. All right, but that's all I got for you guys. I'm really excited for this time, for being here. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to ask me any questions or maybe anything that I can help with or clarify anything for you guys. Who had a question? There.
I have a question from a few slides ago.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the bank account. What kind of bank account would I put the $100 into? Like any bank account? Or just...
Okay, so, yep. So when you're putting it in, the intention is for it to be growing, right? So the one thing I talked about before, the IUL, Indexed Universal Life, it's a policy that you can put money into and it's growing based off of stock market. Stock market typically averages around 7%. So that's one of the ways that you can do that. It's considered a life insurance policy. You could also put it into a high yield savings account like we kind of mentioned before. And that's more liquid. You can access that pretty more easily, but it's typically only growing. I've seen 3-4% annual interest on those.
So the one that grows 7% is not as easy to access?
You can still access it. But because it's tied to life insurance, it's a little more complex, nuanced. It takes a little bit more understanding. So like I said, don't put money into anything you don't understand. But yeah. Good question. Good question. Anybody else? Questions?
You can also get on a custodial account because you are not 18. So a lot of some of these things you can't do, but your parents can. Some of them allow you to do a custodial account. With some Roth IRAs, that's a good way for you to start saving. But your parents would have to be on it with you until you turn 18. So that's an easy way for you to get a higher percentage than just putting it in a high yield savings account.
Well, I'm going to be 18 in October, so when I turn 18, I can make that account myself, right?
You can. Well, some of them are is it 21 or 18? I think it's 18.
Yeah.
You should be able to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that information. We're going to share
Of course.
the website and then share more information
Yep.
that so that they can start investing.
Absolutely. And yeah, the younger the better. Yes, sir, in the back.
This course was brought to you by Cameron Miller at Arrow Wealth Financial. Visit Arrow Wealth at www.arrowwealth.online for more resources.